Goldman Sachs has released a 2030 music prediction. In all honesty, don't really know why I care too much about this, but it's just kind of cool to see what I don't know, what fucking big financial people like Goldman Sachs think about the music industry going forward, seeing as there's been so much money being thrown into it regarding catalog buyouts and even just, we'll talk about after this, stock sell-offs of music-based industries are also happening at a very high rate. So something's going on, and I guess Goldman Sachs also thinks something's going on. So there was Goldman Sachs Insights page, infographics, music stream. The link will be in a paste bin, so you can always go check that out. All the links are always there. But to start off, a massive revival. After nearly 2 decades of disruption, the music industry is undergoing a massive revival. Artists, labels, and publishers are cashing in on the growing popularity of streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and consumers are signing up for subscriptions like never before. It's clearly happening. Everyone's got some sort of streaming thing now. Before, I knew a good amount of people who still did only the downloading, but I think everyone now is basically paying monthly for their music, which clearly the arguments have been back and forth of which way you think that's really good or not, but not up to me. The Spotify subscription surge, this is from 2011 all the way up to 2018. 2011, only 3 million. 2012, 5 million. 2013, 7 million. 2014, 15 million. 2015, 28 million. 2016, 43 million. 2017 had 71 million and 87 million in September of 2018. So only, was it in 6 years, it has gone from 3 million to 87 million, and that was 2018, not even including 2020, 2021, 2022, all that crazy shit. Apple's basically the same thing, just a giant expanse. Obviously, Spotify was before Apple Music, so I know a good amount of people who were just stuck in that Spotify because, that's the way to go, because they've just had it for so long, I guess. Don't know that many. I mean, honestly, obviously, actually, do I know an Android user that uses Apple Music? Is that even possible? Well, I don't, but it would be kind of funny if you did do that. I wonder if there's actually any upside to it, but maybe not. To continue with the Goldman Sachs stuff, though, a new era of growth. We forecast music revenue to make more than double to about 131 billion in 2030. We forecast music revenue to more than double to 131 billion. It's pretty fucked that they think it's going to get that big. I mean, obviously it's not. I mean, not that much. No, it's a fuckload of money. How do we think the music industry revenue will evolve? Well, let's see. Right now that they're showing a chart. If you're not on the website, I'm not showing any of the stuff on the screen because I'm not dealing with the possibility of DMCA. So I will describe it for audio and visual listeners and watchers. Right now we have a pie graph. The largest part of the pie graph is recorded, so this is where the recording money comes from. And then live music is around, it doesn't say the percentages, which would be nice if it did, but live music is slightly more than that, and publishing is a very small sliver comparative to recording and live music. And they think in 2030 that recorded will be $80 billion, live music will be $38 billion, and publishing will be $12.5 billion. Now that I'm looking at this chart, the next story is going to make some more sense, because right now the 2017 chart. Why the fuck do they do this? Whatever, they're using data from 2017, so that's just fucking out of date at this point. Well, clearly the pandemic happened. But either way, recorded revenue is going to be up and take up a way higher percentage of profit than live music. Live music's percentage in the profit of the artist, label, publishers is going to be lower. And in the next article, I will be talking about how the CEO of Live Nation is literally just selling off hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stock. So I guess Goldman Sachs probably sees something going on that I'm now making the connection on. What's behind the surge? Well, let's find out. Thank you, Goldman Sachs, for answering. Millennials and Generation Z are spending more of their annual budgets on music compared to other age groups. Yeah, I would probably agree. So I guess, okay, so 18 to 34, because anything below 13 I think is illegal. So 13 to 18, then they have 18 to 34, and then the other one, which is the older people. Obviously, the younger people are spending more money on streaming services because most of them have I guess everyone's got a smartphone too, but even some people, like some parents I know, they do not have any streaming services, even though their child has it, and they could probably just sign into their account and use it and not have to, like, I don't know what old people do with how they share music nowadays. I don't know, whatever. Who cares? But main point is the millennials and the Gen Zs are pushing the surge, which I don't think this is anything groundbreaking, to be completely honest. They just have really cool graphics that make it sound like this looks cool, but it's kind of obvious if you just looked at the market and most people who are streaming. The proportion of people who stream music on their smartphones is also growing. Development markets, they think there's going to be a much larger increase, obviously, because cheaper devices, more people getting their hands on it, internet service being more accessible to mobile devices in developing countries. So by 2030, they obviously think that's going to be a big part of the uptake and growth of streaming. I mean, the artists aren't getting paid no more, but either way, what could go wrong? And this is the fun part. 76% of streaming users consider access to millions of tracks very or fairly important. Access to millions of tracks. Yes, I agree. I don't know if it's very important, but it's fairly important. I mean, you know how to get it over there. So, streaming could lose some of its appeal to consumers and might resort in piracy. Oh no, the pirates are coming. They're gonna steal all my money. Even though they might actually be promoting my music in another way. Alright, prices might go up. And if prices go up, the piracy is going to be worse. Who cares? Labels you're not making any fucking money off the shit anyways. What was it? Napster's actually has the best streaming, I think, revenue. And then I think it's Napster, Tidal, Spotify, and YouTube are absolutely low. Clearly, actually, I think Apple Music's better now, but fuck, man. If you're worried about piracy, I got some other problems going, I think. Labels might pull their music from streaming platforms that would then result in something that would go wrong, which happens already. I mean, I think Taylor Swift is re-recording a lot of her stuff and going to be re-uploading it onto platforms, and I'm pretty sure there's some big artists out there who don't have their music on certain platforms for whatever reason if they want. So you don't have to put your music on there. There's no, like, you have to, but you gotta make money somehow, I guess. Streaming is... Oh, what's next? Let's find out. Streaming is set to propel the global music revenue to record highs. All right. In 1988, physical sales because there's no streaming or downloading, was 20 billion, and they're estimating by 2026 it will be back to around 20 billion, but streaming will have basically 85-90% of the market. Downloads will still have some of the market, and physical will still also have some of the market. Last episode I talked about, or 2 episodes ago, talked about the uptick in physical sales over the last year during the last 2 years during the pandemic. So physical stuff is still coming back, and one of the things I chopped off this episode was an artist came out with a new physical platform, which is barely even described yet. But either way, what Goldman Sachs thinks about the music industry is not that big of a telltale sign of what's coming, but it's definitely something that should be at least thought of in the back of the head, that there's at least some, they are projecting a growth in it. And if Goldman Sachs, the people who are writing these reports, are talking or in conversations with people who are talking about the music industry, so they're citing sources from 2017, so clearly they're like, I don't know how much real work they're putting into that part, but or at least making it public. At least these people talk, and if Goldman Sachs is putting out a report that says this, there's probably at least some sort of validity to it, or there's something going on. At least they might not know what's going on, but something's going on. And something else that's going on